All right, excellent afternoon to all those who are watching me across the states in Nigeria. I say welcome, welcome, welcome to another interesting episode of Real Talk with Kike. What do we tell future generation is what I'm putting out there in terms of my openings today. And of course, what has history written down for us as regards to the just concluded elections. Also what I'm also putting out there. Was the electoral exercise a true representation of democracy? The pencil remains in our hands on what will be said of us in the future. Again, I say welcome to another interesting episode of Real Talk with Kike. I remain your convener, Kike Atanda-Owo. And of course, I think it's important for us to quickly go on a quick break to get to hear what Israel has for us today. Stay with me. I'll be right back.
This day in 2014, Nigerian police officer and administrator of Niger State and Ebonyi State, Simeon Olasukanmi Odoye, died. He was a Nigerian police officer and administrator who served as the military governor of Niger State and Ebonyi State during the military regime of Ibrahim Babangida in the 1980s. Odoye was known for his firm but fair approach to governance and was credited with improving infrastructure, healthcare and education in the states he administrated. Prior to his appointment as governor, Odoye had a distinguished career in the Nigerian police force, rising to the rank of commissioner of police before retiring in 1983. After his retirement, he was appointed as military governor of Niger State in 1984 and later served as governor of Ebonyi State from 1986 to 1988. While Odoye's contribution to the Nigerian society was significant, his legacy is somewhat overshadowed by the fact that he served as a military administrator during a period of political instability and human rights abuses in Nigeria. Nevertheless, his passing serves as a reminder of the contributions made by dedicated public servants in Nigeria's history.
Hi, many thanks for staying with me. Apologies on the audio earlier while I was doing the opening, but quickly with on this day in history segment, I cannot help but emphasize on the fact that I feel that Odoye's contribution to Nigerian society was significant, and of course his legacy is somewhat overshadowed by the fact that he served as a military administrator during a period of political instability and of course human rights abuses in Nigeria at the time. And nevertheless, I feel that his passing serves as a reminder of the contribution made by the dedicated public servants in Nigerian history. And what I would like to put out there is the fact that what will history remember you for, and with all that was shared on this day in history segment, it's important for us to be conscious of what we are leaving behind in terms of our legacy. On this note, I think it's important for us to get a quick message from my sponsors. Please stay with us. I'll be right back. All right, elections have come and gone with its heat, its tension, and of course, high expectations. Yes, Nigeria had high expectations of the elections, and of course, the questions were there in terms of expectations met, where expectation met, and of course, how do we critically review what we got right and what we didn't in just concluded election, knowing that there are controversies and lawsuits in court as regards to the contentions of the presidential election and some other elections held for other political offices in the country. So for some who commented on the general elections where millions of Nigerians voted in Africa's largest elections, said that it was the most competitive presidential elections in the country's history. And of course, according to other reports as well, Nigeria's 2023 general elections were largely peaceful despite administrative and logistic hurdles at many polling units. And quite a number of people also, shared their message, but according to an independent group of Commonwealth observers, they also shared their own their own observation regarding the election. But on the live show today, we will be discussing the election with a view towards what Nigeria should be expecting in terms of, transitioning in May 2023. And of course, we have one of the Afenifere leaders on the show. But before I engage my guest, I think it's important for us to, quickly check his profile. Sit back. I'll be right back. Right, welcome to the show, Adebanjo. It's a pleasure to have you on Real Talk with Kike again. Many thanks, sir, for always honoring my invite. How are you doing today, sir? Let's start from there.
I'm very fine, thank you.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. So, let's go to the topic at hand. With my opening and all that I've shared thus far. To start off with, I feel elections in democracy are to represent and, of course, facilitate the choice of the people to power. In terms of credibility and compared to past elections in our country, you've lived long in terms of seeing different administration, and all of that. How would you rate the just completed elections?
This is a disaster. A disgrace. I'm ashamed to be in Nigeria. I'm ashamed to see that this is Nigeria that I fought for. When I was a student in London, demonstrating at Atanda-Owo Square, talking about democracy, rule of law, and saying that getting the president will do better than the British. How do you talk of an election with guns, cutlasses, threatening your opponent? It's a game of policy comparison. I've never seen this type of election in my life. Even during the First Republic, when political parties are competing, our language was competing in strong language against criticizing ourselves. There's no question of violence. This violence openly. Getting people saying, don't come and vote here except you're a member of our party, and saying you're going to vote for X. And I was telling some people that Tinubu, who is supposed to be the president-elect, when his own election was to be a controversy, I was the chairman of that party. I resolved it without violence. He was competing with Williams. We just solved it by administrative method and argument. Nobody was killed, nobody was harmed, nobody was inflicted the injury on. Why this? Now I go out and bring in a cultural thing to do to terrify people not to come in. Now raising the question of somebody comes from another tribe. The tribe which you yourself put in your cabinet. All because you now feel that they are not likely to vote for you, they become your enemy. It's not right. It's not right. I feel ashamed. And in particular, those who are doing this thing are supposed to be enlightened fellows. Democracy is a game of argument, or superior argument over the other, not violence. The less I talk about it, the better. None of you can have the passion I have about this election. What have you seen? I witnessed it from pre-independence now.
All right.
People now do rigging with impunity. With impunity, nobody can catch me. And I tell you, the whole agreement was a collusion between EFCC, INEC, and the security forces. How can you tell me the security forces are alert when they are carrying ballot boxes in their presence? No arrest. And then they say they have arrested some people. What has become of them? They saw a sheep say don't come here. They don't arrest him on the spot, which is all against the electoral law. They saw people committing pure criminal law, the criminal acts. The security officers are around, and they thought a blind eye. What is shame?
All right. Sir, many thanks for your submission right there, but talking about all that you've shared in terms of your review right now, I want to bring to fore, that President Muhammadu Buhari put a lot of things in place in terms of this election, from the electoral reform bill to ensuring that his promise to Commonwealth nations, to the world, on leaving a good legacy. What did I would like you to, speak directly to, to the issues at hand in terms of the pros and cons on what did we get right and what did we not get right in terms of what was the wrong things that we did woefully on.
My dear, I don't see the way you young people see it. I can't be deceived by Buhari. All that is a word of mouth. How far has he implemented those promises? You people, you should not live in denial. He put up the law. How far has he seen that the law is implemented, is executed the way it should be? He's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. How far has he seen that the security forces perform their duty? Did they not turn eye when crimes are being committed? It's not enough to say you do this, you do that. Your body language says it all. The body language says just turn that right eye. When they are, you saw the video, you saw the boxes being carried out in the presence of security officers. You saw the security officer being present where shooting is taking place, where cutlasses are being used. I am not carried away by this word of mouth. Because I'm told it's a fake. He just said it does not mean anything that he says. So what they say, even under the political program, you say, I should do this, I do that. How far has he implemented them? Everybody's worse and worse before he came to office. You know that, except I'm going to deny. Let them close down your radio, your TV station. That's not the Nigeria that I fought for. Where president are being guarded. They must not say something, they must not do that. You are discriminating against your United country openly, without an active, without a positive action to stop it.
Adebanjo, many thanks again for that insight right there. But I'm trying to move away from President Muhammadu Buhari right now, because earlier you mentioned one criticism that we all can agree upon. That we all got from this election is ethnic divide, and it could be said that some people voted according to their ethnic affiliations or religious sentiments. But I must ask you, sir, what are your own comments on this? Because do you share the same opinion with those who think that the Igbos want to come and rule in the so-called no man's land, that's Lagos? What's your take on this?
My dear, that is the propaganda of the APC and those who are parading division. Who is telling you they are voting on the Igbo line? Who is telling you that? Even in Lagos, you are going to look at the result. Tinubu was defeated in most Yoruba populated area. They're just using that to draw a wool across your eyes. And you must see through, shine your eyes. Don't be carried away by this propaganda. You are now raising, I told you earlier on, yeah, people raising the question, the Igbos want to take over Lagos. When did that begin? There is a man who put an Igbo in the cabinet. Igbo is the chairman of the Lagos branch of the APC. When you want to use them, you bring them. This is the man. When he was quarreling with the Daudu in the 1999, because Daudu didn't support him, he was registering Igbos into Alliance for Democracy. I am saying it openly. Let him come and deny. That was the time he brought the Igbos into Alliance Democracy to overturn the number of support that Daudu has against him. He brought them in. It was at that time he brought people to this. We don't mind it. People are entitled to do everything. But now that now feel they are not from the now they are able to buy Nigeria. Who sold it to them? Who sold the land to them? Is it the people that forced themselves to buy the land? Who executed the CFO? Don't be kind away by that all this experts to cover your eyes. They want to ruin the country. They are in collusion, and let those of us who don't agree that talk openly. There is no electricity there. They bring in electricity when it suits them. They bring in religion when it suits them. I don't buy that. I've been this game from the beginning. Let the board of the citizens mind not at this scale, not at this scale. Don't let them deceive you. We have been fighting for United Nigeria when Buhari was a toddler. And now the people that want to bring in Yoruba and the Igbos. Which of them can say they fight for Yoruba land more than myself? Among all of them talking, let them talk out. And say when they are fighting for you, many of them are not born. I can even say many of them, their fathers were not born. When we have been shouting the question of Yoruba liberation. Now when it suits them, we want to put heads against the other. People who have been living together in peace, you now want to say they are not enemies. When do you become? Now, the simple example I told you, this is the man under this present administration. He brought the Igbos into his cabinet, director of budget. There was the Igbo I'm mentioning name, who is the chairman of Lagos APC. Now where are we? Where does the enmity begin? What have they done to these? Some of the property they said they don't to take it from land. Who executed the CFO? Don't be carried away by all these responsible statements. People want to see power by all means. And you want to be carried away by these illogical things.
All right.
We are living together, we are doing everything to be together. And you are now trying to bring us there. I don't buy it. Don't buy it. There's no electricity. It is those who want to spoil us. When he sued Buhari, he knocked the Igbos against the Yorubas. When he sued him, he did not the Yorubas against the Igbos.
All right.
Shine your eyes.
All right, sir. So, talking about shining our eyes, and I think I'm on the same page with you when it comes to how, when it suits us is when we tilt towards, ethnic divide and, of course, religious sentiment. And, of course, you made a valid point that says that,
my dear, don't misrepresent. I don't say when it suits us. When it suits the APC,
Yes,
Drop the thing on the head. Don't
yes,
generalize.
when it suits the APC, many thanks for correct, sir,
Yes.
So,
Yes,
but with all that you've shared
generalize.
thus far, and of course with the fact that, who are the people who are actually issuing the C of O, so why are they coming up with the ethnic divide? But many will be quick, sir, to dismiss your opinion because of your political affiliation with Peter Obi, the Labour Party, presidential candidates. But in that, in some cases, some people might also want to tilt it towards the fact that you were not, on the same page with the likes of former President Olusegun Obasanjo. So I'm trying to ask, let's assume that you're on the same page as former Olusegun Obasanjo on what the future direction of Nigeria should be right now. Do you think that your opinion right now might not be the same? What do you have to say to this, sir?
My dear, you are young people. Try to address the message and not the messenger. How can anybody tell you I'm not on the same page with Tinubu and all that? It's on record that I made him the governor of Lagos State. I could be in a position to dismiss him at that time. When did the enmity begin? And I've said it before in my previous interview. It's very liberal to me. It's not my enemy, it's my son. Every Christmas he give me present. During the COVID, he sent me COVID present. But that does not make me agree with you with the politics. What I'm saying is this is not the politics I handed over to you before you came governor. That is the cause. There's nothing personal. If anybody wants to draw a draw, because they can't get anything against me that they draw that they don't like him. But all the things I've said, I've given instances, that you refute that. Somebody I don't like, I decided in the struggle to become the governor of Lagos State before I can be doing all these things that he's doing. Does that make sense? I gave me instances that if he writes now, not that this supervision, he was sending me Christmas present. During COVID, he sent me COVID present. I should deny that. I received it. When he came back from London after his illness, I went to visit him because I had nothing personal against him. When people now want to confuse issues, talking to people just because they be giving dollar and naira, I don't belong to that. If that's going to be the standard of measurement, I should be in favor of Tinubu. Very liberal to me, very kind, very respectful to me. But that is not the issue. Now talking about what brought me between myself and Obasanjo, it's Nigeria's unity, Nigerian interest. I disagreed with him before when he was thinking that the Northerners are angels. And I told him, don't get yourself deceived. They don't like you. They want to dominate the country. Unless they agree that we are all equal in this country, nobody can be regarded as a second-rate citizen. That is the problem of Buhari and those who are in APC. They don't mind anything, but don't want the Igbos to be president. Why? We talk of rotation. When it's thought of the Igbos, you say, no, it can't be there. And you want them in Nigeria. That don't make sense. And when that very, very said, you are supporting the Southeast, go and read the statement I made. Forget the messenger. All the arguments I made there, let those who criticize me refute those arguments. I'm not talking about who you are either, you are A, you are B. I made the constitutional case, I made the equity case, I made the inclusiveness case. Those are the issues they should address. Not whether Adebanjo is black or white. They even say my mother is an Igbo, doesn't bother me.
Again, for all your submissions thus far. Yes, sir. So now Tinubu has been declared president-elect, with the geopolitical description of the regions he won and the places he lost, like the East. And with all that you've shared thus far regarding nothing is personal and regarding the fact that, you actually also brought him into power, I must ask you, how would you advise him towards the leadership? And I think what is coming to mind now, listening to all that you've shared thus far, is the unity of the Nigerian people. What advice do you have for him regarding his leadership, the leadership skills?
I don't accept his leadership. I don't accept his leadership. Leadership by forgery, by violence. That's not how he brought him to office. That is not the tradition of Afenifere. When we are talking of leadership in this country, we are talking of leadership on a democratic principle, under the rule of law. Not when you do everything by legal means. You want to create anarchy in the country. No. Don't get yourself confused. Somebody sold a property. You now ask the owner, when you are taking it away, now that you can't take it from him, you better go and beg him. What for? Yes, you're having a solid property. Everything. Anybody supporting him, they are aiding and abetting crime. Why not see all the video through with all the elections are done in the country? Is that the way the foreign people will be looking at us? They have done a lot of damage to the country. Which investor will come to a country where there is violence at least, and the authorities just go on looking? We must stop so that the foreign people will not know that everybody is a zombie. It's on the day of the election now, you are now doing no rule. Is that democracy? So my dear, I don't buy the idea because the Yoruba man now what advice you give me. When somebody gets to office by fraud, will he be able to execute those who are public practicing for the government? When he knows the system by which he came to office is fraud, violence, and everything. When he's in office now, and the subject now bring the question of those who are performers of those illegal things, can he sincerely deal with them? When he got into office by fraud, by illegality, by violence, by all the things that's against the rule of law, how can he implement the rule of law in a democracy that we are? Mind you, this is a constitutional democracy. Is that what we are practicing? Are the people happy?
All right.
That is because what I'm saying is in your own treatment, whoever is, I don't know, not for me again. This is not the Nigeria I fought for. Let none of them talking now come and say, I am wrong.
All right, many thanks for all your submission thus far. We'll go on a quick break and get a word from our sponsor. Please stay with me. I'll be right back. All right, glad to know you're still with us. In case you just joined today's show, today's conversation is about the review of the elections. And of course, Nigeria had its most participated, or will I say participated and active elections, since 1999. And of course, by external observers as well, it was deemed largely peaceful and participated election in Africa because of the Nigeria's population size. And of course, we have a veteran journalist and an elder statesman. I would like to refer to him, and of course that's Adebanjo, on the live show today via a Zoom link, where he has been speaking with us on what we got right and what not as far as 2023 elections are concerned. And I must say many thanks, sir, for all your submission thus far. But let me quickly open our phone lines, for those who want to be part of this conversation. Remember, the number to call is 098877 400 showing on your screen right now. And of course, I'm streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube, both on Real Talk with Kike Facebook page and on Silverbird YouTube page as well. Sir, many thanks for all you shared thus far. And talking about transitioning to power, you know, the presidential elections have been taken to court, and we have seen how Alhaji Abubakar, you know, of the PDP, you know, withdrew his second suit, which a lot of people misconstrue as him withdrawing from the petition and all of that. And we've also seen how Labour Party as well, you know, has actually gone to court. You know, with all that I've shared thus far and what you have shared thus far, what's your take regarding the two parties, you know, being in court at the moment? What do you think the outcome will be?
Well, as a lawyer, in the first place, I must correct you. I'm not a practicing journalist. I'm a practicing lawyer. Although I did journalism earlier in my career. So this was a professional journalist. I am not. I am a lawyer by profession, and I have my certificate. So now to your question, what's your question now?
I was asking
what is your question?
Yes, sir, I can hear you, sir. So what I'm saying is that with all that you've shared thus far, with the fact that we have the Labour Party and PDP presidential candidates in court at the moment, what do you think the outcome will be, sir?
Well, as a lawyer, I will be hopeful. Do you listen? Are you hearing me?
You go ahead, sir.
Are you hearing me?
We can hear you loud and clear. You can go ahead, sir.
I said, as a lawyer, I'm hopeful. And I corrected you earlier that I'm not a journalist, practicing journalist. I am a lawyer by profession, registered at the Supreme Court of Nigeria. My certificate is clear, so you don't give me a toga I don't belong to. Although I practiced journalism earlier in my career.
Yeah, because you practice journalism. That's the reason why I touched on it, based on the research work that I did. But I know that you are a lawyer. Yes, sir.
But when you say I'm a research journalist, then don't let that Adebanjo or look at me up saying I am claiming to be a journalist, because they think up to all sorts of things. That's how I get it corrected.
All right.
So I say about going to the court. I said as a lawyer, I am hopeful. But judging from the pressure that the public have said about the court, anything can happen. But I only know that with the facts so plainly open now, I trust the Supreme Court will do the right thing. The only thing that they could do, except one anarchy, is to go to the Supreme Court. The judiciary is the last hope of the common man.
All right, apologies, sir. I might have to interrupt your line of thought. We have a caller from Lagos, you know, calling in. Many thanks for calling. What's your contribution on the topic at hand, Neya? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, please go ahead, please. Many thanks for calling.
My name is Lee. I'm calling from Lagos.
Okay.
Please, I just want to thank this Baba for what he said. My take on this is that, one, the APC, they don't allow any other party to campaign in Lagos. You only see the poster of any other party, except APC, everywhere. So if you travel out, you see other parties campaigning freely. But in Lagos here, it's only APC. Baba is saying the correct thing, because really this vote or this return card they gave to Baba Tinubu is just buying of the vote. Everybody knows that they got that vote. Please, my own take is that they do not suffer Nigerians, asking us to come and vote, asking us to go and register, asking us to go and queue under the sun, under the rain. We will suffer to go and get even our PVC. Then after that, They will do whatever they like, steal the vote, army, police, even the election, the honest officers. They are all in one. They all the boss. Everybody knows that. So the good thing is that they should either cancel this election, redo it again properly, or let them cancel election in Nigeria. If they want to bring anybody, they want to be person they like and impose that person on God, because Nigeria is like, if you like it, you must take it. If you hate it, you must take it like that. The way they want it, they will do it.
All right, many thanks, May, for your contribution on the topic at hand. I'm trying to manage time. And Baba, with what the caller said, the caller is giving you kudos for, speaking to authority, and speaking with authority, knowing that you're a statesman, and with all that you've shared thus far is nothing but the truth when it comes to the reality of we Nigerians today. And we must say thank you thus far, and of course for always honoring our invite to come on the platform today. But sir, I can pull up a social media banter where you, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, and of course we have the likes of Adebanjo, Dele Farotimi, and Macaroni. Some people have come out, come out at you, criticizing you for your choice and all what you've shared thus far. I understand this is democracy and everybody's choice should be respected. Now, my question is, for those whose choice have not become the majority's voice, and with what, the caller have shared thus far on how Nigeria is today, especially Lagos, where it is only APC billboard you will see and the likes of their ads all over the place. I must ask you, what part do you think people who their choices did not come to, that was not, is not the reality of today? What part do they have to play in taking and supporting the next administration moving forward, sir?
My dear, I don't pamper things. I have told you, we don't pamper this administration. This administration is not in existence. What you want us to create an abet fraud and abet legal constitution? I will ask them to find it constitutionally to the end. And if the end does not justify what is said, the people will react. No more, no less. We won't accept injustice, all because they impose it on us. That is anarchy. They say, after all, democracy is the essence of those who want an election to be there, to go out and the majority will carry. Now, when you now see that this process is flawed with irregularities by imposing one on the other, the democracy system we have has a process of remedy, and that is going to the judiciary. So if the judiciary now fails us, it's now left for the people to decide. I will support giving support to an illegal government, a government that has no legitimacy, a government that never said that we don't choose you. How can you expect us to come and cooperate with somebody who forced himself on us by killing us, by burning houses, burning markets of those who don't support them? Is that democracy? And they are not denying all this. Or are you saying the Igbos that burn their markets? If you don't want to face the fact, don't argue. I don't come here to come and fight you. Oh, is that a Yoruba man? Now they don't support you. He's now there. How did he get there?
All right,
so
sir.
Now ask the group to support roguery. That's what you're saying. Everybody said that the man got there to a fraud process. You are now asking not to cooperate with fraud. So the only thing is that next time we say, well, it is not the people that we describe. It is the man who has a superior power of force. Force yourself there, then people will cooperate with you. No. Good men must rise up against injustice.
All right. Sir, apologies, sir. I have to interrupt. I have to interrupt your line of thought again. We have Tracy from Lagos calling. Tracy, many thanks for calling. What's your contribution on the topic at hand?
Good afternoon.
Excellent afternoon.
I just want to say that the last election was shambles. Both elections, I am highly disappointed with what INEC did. We had our trust in them. We felt they would do a different thing this time around. But this is the worst election I've ever seen. In Lagos, there was no election, if I may say that. We were stopped from voting, and we are crying that this is a democratic government. There's nothing democratic about the election that happened on Saturday, even the previous one, the presidential election. But this one, the Guba one, is even worse because we were asked not to vote. And now tell me what is democratic about the election. If the indigents say that the non-indigents are not supposed to come out and vote, why did they ask us to even be part of the census? Why did they allow us to pay our taxes here? Whether they like it or not, there will be a change. Election, democracy, election is all about the majority of the people. If you have non-indigents in your state, you have to live with it. Because people must go out and vote for their choice.
For lending your voice on the topic at hand. I'm trying to manage time right now, and I know that what you're talking about is what concerns us all and affects us all regarding the election that took place on February 25th and of course on the March 18th. Sir, with all that you've shared thus far, I want to come to Lagos quickly because of my last caller, who mentioned what took place in Lagos. Sanwo-Olu was re-elected back into office by, however we look at it, Lagosians, so to speak. I know, even though there's a divided opinion out there. And the first thing he did was to increase the salary of civil servants in the state. The second time he's doing that in the last 12 months, I must say. But on a welfare basis, sir, with someone like you who have been in the corridor of power, and who have actually seen quite a number of things, with your age as a statesman, don't you think he's doing his best, and don't you think he has more good to offer Lagosians?
My dear, pardon me first. What is your own name?
We spoke earlier. I'm Kike, and of course, the reason why I'm bringing all of this to fore. Yes, sir.
Hold on. I just want to know you are Kike Loma.
Yes, sir. You know my name.
Kike Loma. Oh, also, I can't remember, so I just want to mention your name. You see, there is no question anyone in this country can ask me that can embarrass me. Because anybody asking questions politically in this country today, they ask the question what they know after we have built Nigeria. I ask you, does someone think that those who is giving pension at the late hour, increasing do you think they are fools? You ask yourself, when they say people are buying votes and buying something, why has he not done it before? Don't let us talk about this. Is all part of the corruption that is in the country. People who have been hungry for over 1 year, you don't want to overfeed him by overfeeding him in 1 day. Paying on his allowance. Some of the people whose pension have been paid now, some of them have died. But because they have died, because there was no election before they died. Those who are so lucky to be alive, and you think the civil servants are fools? When are they due for promotion? When are they being given them? They sure now after giving this one down now, but by the time another one is due, they will bring them until another election. Is that type of government law? I don't buy that type of hypocrisy. All
right, sir. Quickly, because I know I'm running out of time, I will appreciate if you can, throw light on this, my last question, in 2 minutes, and I'm touching on it based on the fact that I'm a woman, and Aisha Binani of Adama, there were news that said that she won the election according to vote counting before INEC was about to pronounce, and she was on her way to becoming the first, constitutional elected female governor in the history of Nigeria. But INEC declares it inconclusive. Some of the people of the state are demonstrating against a female governor. What's your take on this, sir?
I'm not surprised. I've told you that all this, she said, is in collusion with INEC, security, and the FCC. They are all in league. It's not in line with what INEC planned. Yakubu has been a very, very serious disappointment to many people. I am one of those who has been very hopeful on him. Particularly when Okoye, who is come and talk grammar, smooth speaking, smooth talk. So we have done this, we are ready for this, we are ready for this. Which one? What is the result? Zero. I'm not surprised. It's in their game. It's unfortunate for us. I am one of those who have been very happy that, we are going to have a female president. I don't support the APC.
All right, many thanks.
But the fact that the woman, was there, I was very happy. But it's unfortunate. They want to go. You see, when they want to do the election now again, you see that they are going to give it to somebody of their choice.
Yeah, many thanks for coming on the live show today, and of course for keeping it real as always, knowing that this is you're always honoring our invite. I say many thanks. But before I let you go, sir, I hope I still have time. Apologies, we cannot pick any calls again. I understand that calls are coming in. I want to quickly touch on the trending story. The only trending story that we can touch on today is the fact that Nigerians in diaspora, tear passports on election outcomes, and I don't know if my technical team can actually pull the video out, but let me quickly give my submission on this, on the fact that time is of the essence. Is the fact that honestly the issue is multi-sided, or will I say multi-faceted. I honestly do not know where to pick this from, if you ask me. Nonetheless, the truth must be said, and one must start from somewhere. Everyone is entitled to his or her own opinion. I honestly feel sorry for the Nigerian nationals on in that video, or the video that have been trending thus far, what they are going through with regards to being a Nigerian. And of course, I heard how my guest also was talking about being a Nigerian. I feel the pains of everybody, just like we all know that this concerns us all as Nigerians, and not far. I'm not far away beyond the borders. But those Nigerians who reacted on the video have their reservation about the places, we got it wrong in this election. And of course, my guests have also emphasized on all the places that we got it wrong in this election. But truth must be told, but it is the fact that I feel that in all fairness, we got it right in many places. I personally feel that the path to progress and development is continuous and never ending, and that we should be balanced in our outbursts and projections to the world. However, you sitting and living beyond the borders of Nigeria doesn't give you the right and the absolute power to say a Nigerian passport. Is one thing that I want to emphasize on this platform today. It could be in your name, but it is the property of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It is the identity of over 200 million people, however you look at it. No one is saying you can't, denounce being Nigerian. This is I'm saying that this is your own cup of tea, if you ask me, but never be unpatriotic, to the extent that you will broadcast it live, destroying, or in terms of the destruction of the Nigerian passport. Many are ignorant as well. I feel they are uneducated, even with the exposure, despite traveling abroad and following the orderliness of abroad. I feel sorry for us whenever we take our outbursts too far and we become our own enemy in the eyes of the world. However, finding a balance to my conversation, how many British or American or European citizens have you ever seen tear their passports or humiliate their national passport on social media, all in the name of trending or, you know, or passing across some shallow-witted opinions of their country? Are they not? Are they perfect? The answer is no. So do they have their own challenges, like I would like to call problems? They have their own challenges, and yes, and it's plenty. They have never stooped low to denounce or will I say denounce their country, or their teachers presently that in the UK are taking strike actions. The National Rail as well workers are also observing strike actions. In the US, there's racism. You know, Nigerians are facing with LGBTQ challenges abroad. Why must we label our country worse is the question I'm putting out there for Nigerians. You that you are tearing your passport, I want to ask you, even though you have become a citizen of another country, how did you become the citizen of that country if not becoming a Nigerian first? So such people, I feel, should be arrested and persecuted under the law for public public display or I don't know the word to use. That is it, the denigration of the Nigerian passport. So for me, I am Nigerian first, even with my mixed breed, and I believe that Nigeria will get better. I say it with all hope, despite the fact that I have different options out there, but let's remain patriotic. God bless Nigeria. That's my opinion for now. I understand that we've run out of time. Many thanks for all those who tune in today. So like, come your way next week. Of course, remember to catch me on Inspiration FM tomorrow at 5 p.m. And indeed, we had an awesome show courtesy our resourceful guest, Adebanjo. Many thanks, sir, for always honoring my invite. Bye for now.